It's week 5 in the Chattahoochee Valley as several of our teams open up region play, looking to stake a claim as a force in their region come playoff time. Eufaula is back on the prowl in South Alabama. The Tigers are looking to knock off 10th ranked Central Clay for the second year in a row. The Jordan Red Jackets have impressed to start the 2017 season, but faced their toughest test yet in the 3rd-ranked Manchester Blue Devils at McClung Memorial Stadium. Carver starts region play trying to build momentum and get their first win of the year against one of the hottest teams in Class 4A, the Northside Patriots. It's the Tigers and the Patriots in their Region 1 opener in our Friday night tailgate game of the week. The preview is next. What's up and what's good, party people? I'm Jack Patterson, welcoming you to week 5 of the News 3 PrepZone preview, the Chattahoochee Valley's first high school preview show. Now, just like last week, we have some teams finishing up their non-region slate while others are opening up region play this Friday. And we have a lot of big matchups taking place outside the Chattahoochee Valley this week, so let's run those down. Harris County will hit the road to play Perry. Those two teams played in a thriller last year in Hamilton that saw Harris County come away with the big win at home. So we'll see what this year's matchup in Houston County has to offer. Hardaway will make the long trek to South Georgia to Cairo in their Region 1 4A opener. The serve makers were not too kind to the Hawks last season, and now Hardaway will look to come away with the big win at a notoriously tough place to play, West Thomas Stadium. And after coming up on the wrong side of last week's Istic Classic with Central, Auburn will head west to face off with Prattville in another Region 2 7A contest, looking to get back on track with a win before their big matchup with Enterprise next week at home. We're working with our affiliate stations in both Macon, Tallahassee, and Montgomery, and hope to have highlights of all these games, plus so much more, on the Prep Zone Friday night. Now the matchups taking place in our area. We'll start with the Eufaula Tigers hosting Central of Clay County, the 10th ranked team in Alabama Class 5A. For the last few years, Eufaula has been one of the top teams in our area, consistently cranking out quarterfinal appearances in the playoffs. It's most definitely been a whirlwind start to the season for Eufaula. First, they crossed the border over into Georgia where they defeated Early County in week 1. Then in week 2, they fell to 6A top 10 team Wetumpka at home. And then last week, pulling out a huge 29-22 win in overtime over region rival Booker T. Washington. Now, the Volunteers of Central Clay will provide a true test of where Eufaula's program is as we head towards the midway point in September and enter into region play. Over back in Georgia now, one of the big surprises in our area has been the play of the Jordan Red Jackets. Now, if you remember, we talked about the Jackets back at the start of the season in week 1 as a potential sleeper team. And then they came out and defeated Brookstone right out of the gate. Now, even though Jordan has fallen in his last 2 games against Columbus and Northside, both 4A teams, Jordan has been more competitive in the first 3 games this year than they were all last season. But their toughest test to date for this season comes this week as they host the Manchester Blue Devils to McClung Memorial Stadium. The Blue Devils come into the matchup as the 3rd-ranked team in Single A, coming off a big road win against Southwest in Macon 2 weeks ago. Their 2 games prior to that were blowouts, 62-6 over Meriwether County rival Greenville and 44-13 over Luella 3 weeks ago. Manchester will look to keep up their momentum as they prepare to go into region play next week. And now it's time for our Friday night tailgate game of the week, Carver taking on Northside. Now, Carver is looking for something, anything to get their season going after an 0-3 start that has seen the Tigers lose in double overtime to Harris County, lose to Spencer for the first time in nearly 20 years, and falling on the road by 5 points to a tough Douglas County team 2 weeks ago. Now, it's been a long time since we've seen a Carver team in a spell like this. They hope their first region matchup of the year against Northside will be the kickstart they need to get something going for their season. Meanwhile, Northside is quietly becoming one of the hottest teams in Class 4A, receiving votes in this week's Georgia Sports Writers poll. Even more impressive than Northside's highly talked about offense is their defense so far this season, averaging only 12 points per game going into this week's matchup. Now, a win here for Northside not only gives them leverage over Carver in seeding for the playoffs, but sends a strong message that the Patriots could be region title contenders this season. And of course, Carver Northside is our Friday night tailgate game of the week. Natalie Pellicetti will be live from Connect Stadium in North Columbus starting at 5 o'clock on News 3. And of course, after all the games are done, you know what to do. Keep it right here on News 3 for the Prep Zone at 11:15, 10:15 Central, as Brendan Robertson, who is back from his vacation, and Natalie Pellicetti will get you through all the scores and highlights across the Chattahoochee Valley. This week, I'll be in Eufaula for their matchup with Central Clay County that we talked about earlier, and I'll also pay a visit to their next-door neighbors, the Lakeside Chiefs, as they host Coosa Valley and AISA action. You can follow me on Twitter at JPattersonTV for tweets from those games. You can also follow the WRBL sports team on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, we'll see you right here on WRBL.com next week for Week 6 of the Prep Zone preview. I'm Jack Patterson. We'll see you later, and you go out and enjoy the games and have a good weekend.